Jai Hind dosto, this is Ananya, your master teacher at Vedantu for Social Science. I'm sure you guys are taking very good care of yourself. So, students, let's continue with our topic of the story of village Palampur. And in this particular session, I'm going to teach you guys about the various activities which goes on in village Palampur. All right. So, in which all different activities the people of village Palampur are involved into, that is what we are going to deal in this entire session. By the way, guys, this is my weekly schedule. So make sure that you guys are taking a screenshot of this weekly schedule and be on time on each and every session of mine. All right. Chalo. So guys, we will be dealing with two important activities wherein people are involved into farming activities and non-farming activities. Simple as that. First, we will be dealing with farming activities. All right. Now, the very first thing we need to keep in mind in village Palampur is like the land is fixed. All right. So the land in village Palampur is fixed. Guys, farming is the main production activity in village Palampur. Means majority of the people in Palampur are involved into farming activities. Nearly 75% people in Palampur village are directly dependent upon farming activities. Since 1960, there has been no expansion in the land area under cultivation. Means what do we understand from this? Since 1960, the area under cultivation is same. All right. Some of the wasteland in the village had been converted to cultivable land. Means we can say that most of the people in village Palampur are involved into agricultural activities, nearly 75% people. And since 1960, there has been no expansion of land under cultivation. So now the question arises, is there a way one can grow more from the same land? Now you guys tell me, since 1960, the area under cultivation is same. So is it possible to increase the production activities without, or is it possible to increase the production without increasing the area under cultivation? Is it possible? And yes, you guys are absolutely right. It is possible. How it is possible? Guys, through multi-cropping method. Now, what is multi-cropping? Let's understand. During the rainy season, farmers grow jawar and bajra. Cultivation of potatoes is done between October and December. Sugarcane is also harvested once in a year. And in the winter season, fields are sown with wheat. So are you guys understanding? This is what is known as multi-cropping. Now, what is the main reason to grow these three different types of crops? Let's understand. Due to the well-developed system of irrigation, guys, the very first reason behind the people of village Palampur are able to increase their production is due to the well-developed system of irrigation. Now, beta, what is the meaning of irrigation? Artificially supplying of water in agricultural fields. All right, so that is not what is known as irrigation, like canal irrigation, tube well irrigation, sprinkle irrigation, dip irrigation. There are various forms of irrigations. Now, electricity came early to Palampur. Its major impact was transforming the system of irrigation from Persian wheels to electrically run tube wells. So there was a time when Persian wheels were more used in the form of irrigation as a form of irrigation. Now, due to the introduction of electricity, you will find electric tube wells are mostly used. Let me show you. Guys, the one which you can see on the left hand side of the screen, this is Persian wheels, and the one which you can see on the right hand side of the screen, that is electric tube wells. All right. So, electricity came early to Palampur. Its major impact was transformation of the system of irrigation from Persian wheels to electrically run tube wells. By mid 1970s, the entire cultivated area of 200 hectares was irrigated. So that was a positive transformation Palampur went under. All right. So Palampur village went under a very important transformation, was involvement of irrigation system. That is very, very important, and that was one of the reasons behind increase in production after 1970s. All right. Now guys, multi-cropping. What is multi-cropping? Growing of more than one crop on a piece of land during the year. So growing of more than one crop on a piece of land during a year is known as multi-cropping. Most common way of increasing the production, guys, it is one of the most common way to increase the production by involving multi-cropping system in the agricultural fields, because you guys are already aware after 1960s there was no increase in the area under irrigation, there was no increase in the area of agricultural area. All right, so the land was fixed after 1960s, the area was not increasing. So how we can increase the production? By doing multi-cropping, and that is what was done by the people of Palampur village. All farmers in Palampur grow at least two main crops, like we can say wheat or sugar cane. Simple. That is one of the way to increase the production. Now, traditional farming methods. What do we understand from the term traditional farming methods? Old farming techniques. All right. So let's understand the people of Palampur village were involved into which type of traditional farming methods. Till the mid 1960s, the seeds used in the cultivation were traditional ones with relatively low yield. So the seeds the people used to use, or the farmers used to use in their field, the output was very low. The yield was very low. Now, I know you have a question, sir, what is the meaning of yields? So let me show you. The crop produced on a given piece of land during a single season. The crops which are produced on a given single land. Okay, let me show you guys. Let's take an example. This is a piece of land on the left hand side of your screen. Okay, so the crops which are going to be produced, let's take an example. These are crops. Okay, all right. So the crops produced on a single piece of land during one single season, that is known as yield. All right. So till the mid 1960s, the seeds used in the cultivation were traditional ones with relatively low yields. Traditional seeds needed less irrigation. So it required less irrigation. Farmers used cow dung and other natural manure as fertilizers. Simple as that. So no chemical fertilizers. All these were readily available with the farmers. Simple as that. So that was the traditional farming methods wherein people or the farmers of village Palampur were involved into. After 1960, what happened? Guys, it gave rise to Green Revolution. Now, one homework question for everyone, and it's a very, very simple question. I want you guys to tell me who is known as the father of Indian Green Revolution. So you guys will be telling me in the comment section. All right. It's a very, very simple question. The father of Green Revolution in India. Now guys, what happened after Green Revolution? Simple as that. After Green Revolution, the production started increasing. All right. The land under cultivation was still the same, but still the production started increasing. Now you will have a question, sir, how? How the production started increasing? Let's see. First of all, after Green Revolution in 1960s, introduced for the cultivation of wheat and rice, use of high yielding varieties of seeds, which is also known as HYV seeds, which gives more production as compared to the traditional seeds. But there is one thing, it requires more chemical fertilizers and more irrigation. Produce much greater amount of grains on a single plant. HYV needed plenty of water, chemical fertilizers and pesticides to produce the best results. So guys, this is one of the things you need to keep in mind. The traditional method of cultivation did not require more irrigation or chemical fertilizers or pesticides, but after the introduction of HYV seeds after Green Revolution in 1960s, it gave rise to more production. But at the same time, it was also followed by more use of water and at the same time more use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. All right, guys. Most of the things after Green Revolution, the production happened more in Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, in the northern belt of India. You guys are very well aware, the northern plains of India, the second chapter from your geography, physiography of India. All right, great. So guys, Green Revolution 1960s, in Palampur, the yield of wheat from the traditional variety was only 1300 kgs per hectare. Now you will have a question, sir, what is the meaning of 1 hectare? I will tell you later in this session what is the meaning of 1 hectare. Alright. So in Palampur, with the help of traditional methods of cultivation, the production was just 1300 kgs of wheat from 1 hectare. After the introduction of HYV seeds, the yield went up to 3200 kgs per hectare. So now you can just imagine the increase in the production after Green Revolution. And that is just, we are taking an example of 1 hectare. 1 hectare is a very small piece of land, by the way. Next one, will the land sustain? Let's see. Guys, as I told you, every coin has got two sides, advantages and disadvantages as well. So with the help of Green Revolution, introduction of HYV seeds, there was an increase in the production, but at the same time, it also followed with some negative effects of Green Revolution or these modern farming techniques. What were the negative aspects of this modern farming techniques? Let's understand. Guys, scientific reports indicates that modern farming methods have overused the natural resources, over exploitation of the natural resources. The Green Revolution is associated with the loss of soil fertility. How? Due to the more use of chemical fertilizers. Continuous use of groundwater for tube well irrigation has also reduced the water table below the ground. So the groundwater table is also reducing. The fertility of the soil is also reducing. Definitely, it is giving us better result in the form of production. But on the other hand, if we talk about the natural resources, they are exploited up to a great extent. And this is the negative side of modern farming techniques. I hope you people are able to understand. Guys, if yes, do not forget to hit the like button. Also subscribe to our channel. And if possible, try to share this video with all your friends. Alright? Okay. So guys, how is the land distributed between the farmers of village Palampur? Let's understand how the land is distributed. Is it evenly distributed or unevenly distributed? Let's see. So guys, people who engage in agriculture do not have sufficient land for cultivation. In Palampur, about one third means 33% of the 450 families are landless. That is, nearly 150 families are mostly Dalits. So out of the 450 families, one third of the 450 families, that is 150 families, are landless. Landless means without any land. So these people are dependent upon others' land for their livelihood. Means they are basically working in others' lands to continue with their activity, farming activities. They do not own their own land, and most of the people are coming from Dalits. 240 families cultivate small plots of land less than 2 hectares in size. So people, what is the meaning of 1 hectare? Let me tell you what is 1 hectare. Guys, this is 1 hectare. Okay, 1 hectare is equivalent to 100 square meters. This is 1 hectare. Guess which farmer, okay, by the way, I need to give you some extra information. Which farmer is known as a marginal farmer? The farmer which has a land of less than 1 hectare comes under the marginal farmer. The farmer which has a land of 1 or 2 hectare comes under small farmer, and the farmer which have a land of nearly 2 to 10 hectares comes under medium, and more than 10 large. Okay, so this is what you guys can remember. So 240 families cultivate small plots of land, that is less than 2 hectares of land. 60 families of medium and large farmers cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. So these are some of the numbers you have to keep in mind. This is very, very important, by the way. All right. Who will provide the labor? Now the question arises, who will provide the labor? All right, we need people to work on the fields. So who will provide the labor? Let's understand. Farming requires a great deal of hard work. Small farmers along with their families cultivate their own fields. But Medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their field. So the people with more than the farmers with more than 2 hectares of land, they hire people to work in their fields. And specifically these labors comes from the marginal and the small farmers, all right, which have a land of less than 2 hectares. These are the people, these are the laborers who are employed in medium and large farmers field. So either from the landless families or families cultivating small plots of the land. These are the people who works in medium and large, who are working with the farmers who have medium or large, who are considered as medium or large farmers. Do not have a right over the crops grown on the land. Obviously, guys, let's take an example. If I come from a landless family, okay, if I am working on some other field, so the crops which are produced in that field, I will not have any right over the crops which are grown on the land. They are paid wages by the farmers for whom they work. Now, what are wages? Guys, wages are basically the payment which is done on a daily basis or a weekly basis, that is known as wages. Okay, and it is not necessary that the wages will be in the form of cash. It can be in the form of kind also. For example, crops. All right. So this is how these farm laborers are paid. How much are they paid? Let's understand. Wages vary widely from region to region and crop to crop. So it is not necessary every time they will get the same wages. It depends upon region to region and crop to crop. Wide variations in the duration of the employment. So it is not necessary every time they will be employed for like 4 months or 5 months or 6 months. It is not necessary. Example, there is an example. Dala is a landless farm laborer who works on a daily wages in Palampur. The minimum wages should be rupees 300 per day, but he is only getting rupees 80. So the daily wages should be minimum 300 rupees per day, but he is getting only rupees 80. Now you will have a question, sir, why so less? Because of the heavy competition for work. So there are more people who needs work, but are you guys getting it? There are more people who needs work, but the work is very less. So heavy competition for the work. So people agree to work for lower wages also. So this is one of the reason why he is being paid only 80 rupees and he is ready to work at rupees 80 for the entire day. Just imagine. Okay, so guys, the capital needed in the farming. So guys, there is a lot of capital which is required in farming. What is the meaning of capital, guys? It can be fixed capital, it can be working capital like tractors, then machines, then seeds, raw materials, many things like fertilizers. Guys, these are known as capital. So guys, for capital, what do we need to purchase these capitals? We need money. Small farmers have to borrow money from the village money lenders or the traders to arrange for the capital. But and when these small farmers borrow money from the village or the money lenders, rate of interest is very high. They are put to great distress to repay the loan. So the rate of interest is very, very high. Medium and large farmers have their own savings from farming activities. So they have their own savings. Now, if we talk about the medium and the large farmers, guys, they have the surplus production as well. Now, my dear students, what is the meaning of surplus? More in quantity. Okay? So, guys, what these farmers do with the surplus farm products? Let's understand. Farmers retain means keep a part of the wheat for the family's consumption and sell the surplus wheat in the market. The traders of the market buy the wheat and sell it further to the shopkeepers in the towns and cities. Amazing. Mostly money is saved in the bank account or given credit to the small farmers. So guys, the farmers who are earning money by selling the surplus farm products in the market or to the traders, what they do with the surplus money? Either they keep the money in their bank or they give credit, means loan to the small farmers at a very high interest rate. Also, use their savings to arrange for the working capital such as buying of tractors. So this is how they use the money. I hope guys you are able to understand everything. Now guys, I will be telling you guys something about our pro subscription. Now I know you guys are able to understand everything on YouTube. Now if I tell you take our pro subscription, you will be like, sir, why should we take our pro subscription? Why we should take Vedantu's pro subscription if we are able to understand everything on YouTube? So let me tell you the reason why you should enroll to our subscription, why you should take our pro subscription. First of all guys, Vedantu is giving you a promise, and the promise which Vedantu is giving you, no other online or no other offline institute will ever give you. So the promise which Vedantu is giving you, before I tell you about that promise, let me tell you guys the features of Vedantu. Means when you join Vedantu, what are the features you will be getting which you will not get on YouTube? First thing, unlimited live sessions. Guys, when you enroll to Vedantu, you have an access to unlimited classes, and that too live classes. On YouTube, you guys keep on saying us menti like quizzes. Guys, over there in every session of every chapter, we like conduct quizzes for like after every 10 minutes, we conduct quizzes. And while participating in these quizzes, you actually compete with the students throughout the world. Because students in Vedantu are not only from India, they are from different countries also. So just look at the competition you have. Not only this, if due to any reason you miss out the session, you can watch the replays. Replays how many times? N number of times you can watch the replays. And people, those replays are going to be interactive. What are interactive replays? Means if you guys are watching the replay, then also you can participate in the quizzes and you can find your name on the leaderboards. Problem of notes is also solved, because when you guys are a part of our long-term batches, you guys are getting handwritten notes of your master teachers. Not only this, on YouTube, it is very difficult for you guys to ask me doubts. Yes, and it becomes very difficult for you guys to ask doubts to the other teachers as well. But if you take our long-term batches, during the session, all your doubts are cleared. There are special teachers which are known as class teachers, which will be there with you throughout the session to clear your queries. I am going to be there, class teachers are going to be there to solve all your queries during the sessions. Continuously tests are taken, assignments are given to you. Not only this, class, you can also enroll to our micro courses and crash courses, which are going to be absolutely free for you. Guys, what are micro courses? Let's take an example. You want to, let's say you want to attend any chapter of any subject once again. All right. So you can actually separately take a micro course of any chapter of any subject. And these micro courses and crash courses are going to be absolutely free for you, and that too it is going to be unlimited. So the students who are not our pro subscription, they have to purchase these separately micro courses and crash courses, which is going to be absolutely free for you. Amazing thing, right? Guys, how you can enroll to these sessions? It's very simple. There is a link which is there in the description box, and if you just scroll down, you will find the very first comment, you will find our link. You just have to click on that link. All right. Okay, let me show you. Do not get confused. Let me show you. Like let's say, I hope you guys can see this. Guys, this is one of my video, and this is the description box, or you can go over here as well and just look at the link. This is the very first comment. If you just click on the link, you will be redirected to our website. You just have to select your class, like you guys are in class 9th and grade 9th. That's it. This is our website, and you can see all these plans: Pro Lite, Pro Classic, Pro Plus subscription. Okay guys, let me quickly tell you whatever benefits I said you now. All these benefits like live classes, test series, assignments are given, notes are given, doubts are solved during the session. Everything is available in our Pro Lite subscription. Guys, this is for 26,199 only for entire year. Alright. So if you guys are applying my coupon code as AD Pro, it is coming down for 26,999, or else the original price is somewhere nearly 29,000. And guys, one best part is like you can try this plan for 1 month. Yes, you can try this plan for 1 month. In that case, what will happen basically, guys? Just hold on. Yeah. So guys, what will happen? Like in 1 month plan also, you will get all these advantages. Everything, whatever I said you will get all these advantages if you try it for a month as well. Cool. And guys, in 1 month also you can apply my coupon code as AD Pro. Like the original price is 2500, but if you guys are applying my coupon code, it is coming down to 2070. Guys, same goes for, we have got Pro Classic. Now you will say, sir, what is the advantage or what is the difference between Lite and Classic? Guys, in Classic you will be getting a doubts app. Means if you have any doubts during the session, before the session or after the session, those doubts will be cleared after the session also if you take our Pro Classic subscription. And if you take our Pro Plus subscription, guys, in that you will be getting a personal mentor. Means that person will be there with you throughout the year to solve all your academic related issues, be it tests, be it assignments, be it your doubts, everything. And one amazing part, in every plan you can try it for a month. All right, just apply my coupon code as AD Pro, which is automatically applied. If not, you can apply my coupon code as AD Pro to get additional discount. Acha, one more thing I want to show you, like you can watch the session replays. As you can see, like you can watch the session replays, you can get the notes as well. Like if I click over here, get notes, you guys can download these notes. All right, you guys can download these notes. Absolutely amazing, right? All right, people. So it's very simple. The link is there in the description box. Use my coupon code as AD Pro to get additional 10% off. All right. So this is what I said you everything about our Pro plans. And guys, end of the day, what I believe, the price which you guys are giving to Vedantu actually comes down to zero. How? Because when you guys are getting an access to one long-term course and unlimited micro courses, so if you are attending more and more number of classes but you are not paying for that, so actually the price will come down to almost zero because you have an access to unlimited micro courses. Simple as that. Now guys, what promise Vedantu is giving you, which none of the offline or online institute will ever give you other than Vedantu. Guys, the promise is, if you feel after taking our long-term batches for the entire year, there has been no progress as per your expectations, means you expected a rise of 5% or 10% or 15% increase. If there is no, if the performance is not as per your expectations, the fees which you have given to Vedantu will be returned back to you without asking any questions. Yes, you have heard it right. This is the promise Vedantu is giving you. Guys, but for that we need a very small commitment from your end. You have to attend minimum 75% of the live classes, and the tests or the assigned tests which are given to you, minimum 75% should be completed. If you give us such commitment, then we are promising you. In case the performance improvement is not as per your expectations, we will return the course fees paid to Vedantu without asking any questions. So guys, these are the advantages you will not get on YouTube, but you will get on taking our Pro subscription. Guys, the batches are already started, and personally I am teaching in all these batches. Now guys, it is not necessary when you enroll to our Pro subscription you will be only enrolled to my course. No, automatically you will be enrolled to all the other subjects as well. All right. So guys, if you want to learn from me and from the other teachers, make sure that go on and enroll to our Pro subscription. At least try it for a month. All right. Chalo. Now guys, till now we saw in Palampur village, 75% people are involved into agricultural activities. Now we will understand there are 25% people who are not involved into agricultural activities, but they are involved into non-farming activities, means other than agriculture. So what are those activities wherein people are involved into other than agriculture? Let's see. Like small scale manufacturing, dairy, small shops, transportation. These are the activities in which 25% people are involved into. Like, let's understand everything one by one. Dairy, common activity in many families. Okay, this is dairy, guys. Common activity in most of the families. Feed their buffaloes on various kinds of grass, jawar and bajra. Milk is sold in Raiganj. Now, what is Raiganj? That is a nearby large village from where it is transported to faraway towns and cities. Okay, other than dairy, they are also involved into small scale manufacturing. Like, only 50 people are engaged into manufacturing. Only 50 people, not 50%. It involves very simple production methods and is done on a very small scale. Carried out mostly at home or in the fields with the help of family labor. So, small scale, there is a small scale manufacturing also going on in Palampur village, and only 50 people are involved into this activity. The shopkeepers of Palampur. People involved in trading activities are very less. Guys, what is the meaning of trade? Buying and selling of goods or services is known as trade. So, people involved in trade are very less. Shopkeepers buy various goods from wholesale market in the cities and sell them in the village. So what are wholesale market, guys? These are the shopkeepers in Palampur village. They are purchasing their items or the materials or commodities from wholesale market. Guys, why from wholesale market? Because from wholesale market the prices are less. For example, if I tell you, let's take an example. This is a pen which is costing, the MRP of this pen is rupees 10. So the shopkeeper is getting the same marker at rupees 8 because he is purchasing the same thing from wholesale market and he is selling this pen at rupees 10. So he is getting 2 rupees profit. Alright. Guys, there are general stores as well in the village which sells many commodities like rice, wheat, sugar, tea, oil, biscuits, so on and so forth. A few of the families also sell eatables like fruits and vegetables. Transport. This is also one of the activity wherein the people of Palampur village are involved into. It's a very, very fast developing sector, by the way. There are there is a variety of vehicles on the road connecting Palampur to Raiganj. Like rickshawala, tanga, jeep, tractors, truck drivers, bullock cart. So there are many forms of transportation. The number of people involved in transport has grown over the last several years. So there are many people now who are involved into this particular sector, that is service sector. Transportation comes under service sector. Alright people, so guys, I hope you understood everything from this session. In this session, basically we saw the farming activities and the non-farming activities wherein people are involved into. Farming activities, 75% people are involved into, and in non-farming activities 25% people are involved into non-farming activities. Alright, so guys, I hope you understood the session. If yes, do not forget to hit the like button. And now guys, it is a time for homework questions. So let's see who will give me the answer in the comment section. Which among the following is not a farming activities out of these four? Shopkeeping, transport, small scale manufacturing, yeah, all of the above. Which among the following is not a farming activity? Second one, what is the minimum wage for labor according to March 2017? Option A, rupees 115 per day. Option B, rupees 300 per day. Option C, rupees 80 per day. Or is it option D, rupees 100 per day? Simple. Alright, sir, guys, these are the two questions, homework questions for you. Make sure that you guys are giving me the answer in the comment section. And one more thing, if you have any queries, do let me know in the comment section. Alright, great. So thank you so much guys for attending my session. I hope you had a great time. By the way guys, do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends, and if possible try to join me with the help of Pro subscription. Alright. So guys, join us with Pro subscription. The link is there in the description box. Do not forget to use my coupon code as ADPRO. Thank you so much, students. I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take very, very good care of yourself. Bye-bye. Take care.